Good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on the Executive Director of the Latino Support Network. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Danny, for inviting me. So my name is Hugo Carvajal. I'm Executive Director of the Latino Support Network CDC. We're a local 501c3 and community development corporation.
Nice. So this is why I have you introduce yourself. You do it with the right pronunciation.
With the right, the R's.
Yeah, I can't quite do that. I'm trying, but not quite. So you said you're a nonprofit. Would you want to do just a quick overview of what's your role as the executive director? So what's your main thing?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders. Latino Support Network got started in 2014 as a nonprofit. Other local community organizers, active residents, citizens were involved in forming the Latino Support Network. And our mission has been around integration for the immigrant and Latinx community. So as a co-founder, I stayed on as executive director. And I wear many different hats because we're still, fairly small nonprofit. But we're also a community development corporation, which I can tell you more of what that means. But yeah, obviously I work very closely with the board of directors, and we have created a community investment plan. So it's basically a strategic plan which outlines what we're trying to do as a CDC here in the city of Lynn for the next 3 years. Oh, nice. So that's how they sort of measure my performance.
Every 3 years you get evaluated.
Yeah.
And you can talk a little bit more about the organization itself, because I was going to ask about, you did it a bit, but an overview of the organization. You were saying kind of your community plan. Or... Yeah.
So again, when we got started as a nonprofit, we started in working towards our mission of integration, providing a lot of educational services, and the kinds of services that are really essential for the immigrant community in trying to learn how to navigate the system, a new place, right? So language is essential, right? Communication, so ESOL classes, citizenship, a lot of people who are finding pathways to become U.S. citizens, computer education, computer literacy, it's important in today's digital era, financial literacy, extremely important as well, in terms of, we find in communities such as Lynn, there's still unfortunately, predatory lending happening, illegal predatory lending. So how do you work with people to access the knowledge and the tools so they can stay away from that? And also, budgeting, savings, repairing their credit. And a lot of people, and we do work as a community development corporation around economic development, and that's housing and supporting small businesses. But tying that back to financial education, so what's the point of learning more about finances and personal finances? To reach your financial goals. And for a lot of people, one of the, it's part of the American dream, buying a home, being a homeowner. And it's proven to be one of the best ways to build intergenerational wealth.
Oh.
Yeah.
True, I hadn't thought of that. First generation, you want it to keep going.
You want to set up foundation, yeah.
Foundation for the rest of your family.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So I was looking, and especially on your social media, so many of your posts are about community resources. Yeah. And it seems like you have a lot of connections with other organizations and other places as well. You really built the network there.
Yeah. So like I was saying, two of our co-founders, one is Telma Fuentes. She does a lot of the social media, sharing resources, connecting with different organizations in the North Shore and around Massachusetts. And it goes back to, helping people get the information and resources of what could be helpful for them, if it's information about health related, about food resources, about housing, about jobs, right? So yeah, that's what we try to do with our social media. Another one of our co-founders is Rafael De Leon, who's also a Lynn resident. And his work, we offer the Tech Goes Home program. So it's a nonprofit that it's called Tech Goes Home. And it's a partnership that is funded by Essex County Community Foundation to bridge the digital equity gap. So basically, we work with families or with small businesses providing computer literacy classes. And then people get at the end of the class, once they complete all the hours and successfully complete the program, they get a free laptop and 1 year of internet service.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good program.
That's a great program to have. I think I'd heard of them before working with another one, but it is.
They're all across the state. Yeah, doing a lot of work. Tech Goes Home, that is. Yeah. Yeah.
It is such a great thing because you said you're talking about the digital gap, but then you talk about on the website the financial gap can be there. These other gaps that exist between certain people that you're trying to help them with.
And one of the biggest one is housing affordability. Anybody you talk to anywhere in the country really, but in places such as Massachusetts is even more severe, where housing, where people, families should not be spending more than 30% of their annual income on housing, right?
Right.
Because then if you're spending, and we find people, families who are spending way more than 30%, 40, 50, up to 60%.
Wow.
So, what kind of quality of life can you have when you're basically working to pay, to have a roof under your head? It makes sense that you need to pay for housing, but not so much. So it's too expensive. We've got to find ways to help people, families, access quality housing, whether it's rental or home ownership. And again, it's one of the best ways to build social capital, build the fabric of community life, home ownership, that is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get to build a capital, you get to become a part of a community, you get to know the people that live around you, which is always nice in any new place that you go.
It has so many positive ramifications, consequences, even politically you're taken more seriously in a way.
True, I hadn't thought of that one. So how do people, individuals, anyone get involved with the network? Is it more you reaching out to them? Do they reach out to you? Is it kind of both?
It's both ways. Like you said, social media has been a good way to connect with people. So for instance, we have students in our programs, again, some of the educational programs, CSOL, computers, citizenship, who are many are from Lynn and surrounding towns, Salem, Peabody, but we have now after COVID, we were talking about COVID earlier, given that some of our classes are now via Zoom, virtual, we have people connecting from Lawrence, Boston, different places in Boston, Dorchester, Roxbury, Methuen. So that was actually a very positive outcome of the COVID experience that we are now working with participants from other places around the state. Yeah.
No, you're right. That is true. I mean, I even had, once, I think it was even for a college class. We had someone zoom in from California, I think it was, and just something that wouldn't have happened before.
Right.
Or you just would have figured, they're way too far away.
Yeah. No, that's a very cool thing about, and of course, some people now are able to have more flexibility around the workplace too, right? Where you work.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but I guess there's room for improvement there.
I guess so. And I realized I wish I could just sit here and talk to you all day about it. But I guess one final thing I'll ask is, what is the best way for people to get in touch, connect with the network for people who are interested?
Yeah, social media, Facebook or Instagram works really well. Also, the phone number that you guys are posting here, that's a good number to connect, leave a message, send us a text message. And We are located at 140 Union Street, 203, 206, so second floor. And people are welcome to stop by as well. Yeah, and so it's great to be able to be in this community. We're, again, pretty much here on Union Street, which is a really great and active and vibrant part of the city. And so, yeah, please, anyone who's watching and is interested in anything of what we do, reach out, and we're happy to work with you.
Great, that sounds really good. And thank you again for coming on to talk about it and really spread the message.
Thank you, Danny, for inviting me.
Of course, anytime. And once again, this has been the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and we will see you next week with more guests.